Hi, Avrin. Um, this is just the easiest way for me to help you with this problem. So I'm just going to do a short movie to show you how to find X and Y in L. So this is L on your right triangle trig activity. So we're going to start with X. We're going to look at this triangle. Ignore that other triangle for a minute. We're just going to look at that red right there. And I'm going to label it using this 76-degree angle as my theta. Since they've given me that angle, let's just label the triangle from there. So going across from that, this side here is the opposite. Over here is the hypotenuse. And then this side, adjacent to that angle, is going to be the adjacent side. All right, so if we're looking at this, if they've given us the opposite side and we're trying to find the adjacent side, we're going to remember our SOHCAHTOA that will help us to figure this out. So we've got an O and an A. So we're going to want to use the TOA, the tangent there. So how we set that up is the T stands for the tangent of the angle. So we've got to look at what our angle was. So the tangent of 76 is equal to, now O is first, that means it goes on the top. So 29 goes on the top here over the adjacent side, which was our X. That's what we don't know. All right, now remember, if X is in the denominator, these can just flip places. So basically this new problem is just X is equal to 29 divided by the tangent of 76. And grab your calculator and we could just go ahead and do 29 divided by the tangent, where's my tangent button? Tangent of 76. And I have X is equal to 7.2. Let's just round it to the nearest tenth. Okay, 7.2 right there. So that's my X right there. That's what X is. I'm going to kind of erase this now. That's kind of messy. We're going to say this side is 7.2. All right, now let's look over here at the other triangle. In fact, let's go ahead and erase everything over here. So it's going to be a different triangle we're looking at. We're actually probably going to need to find one more side before we can find that angle. So now that we've got two sides of this right triangle, I would suggest we're going to need to find this side over here so that we can use our trigonometry to find this angle. Since this side, let's do it a different color. Since this side is shared by both triangles, we can find that side and then use it in the other triangle. So remember, let's go back to this triangle. This is going to be A, B, and C. So we're trying to find C right there. So we can just set that up with the Pythagorean theorem. The A, or 7.2 squared, plus B, or 29 squared, is equal to C squared. So 7.2 squared is 51.84 plus 29 squared, 841. Is equal to C squared. So let's just add that to we'll add our 51.84 to 841 and get 892.84 is equal to C squared. And then take the square root of that, and I've got a 29.9 on that side. All right, now let's look at this triangle. Now we're going to do this in green. So now we're going to come up here to this triangle and say we want to find this angle. I'm going to call that one theta now. So across from it, we're going to call this side the opposite. How do I write that? That side the opposite. This side is our hypotenuse because it's across from our right angle right there. And then the adjacent. So you'll note right here that they've given two sides. They didn't give it, but you found two sides. You know the hypotenuse, the H, and the opposite, the O. The O and the H. So you're now going to set this up using the sine ratio, and you're going to say that the sine of an angle, and this time we don't know it, so we'll just put that theta. That's what we're trying to find. The sine is equal to, now O is first, so make sure that O goes on the top, 29.9. divided by the hypotenuse, which is my 34. And then your calculator can work backwards. If you're trying to find what the sine is, or what the angle is. If you know the sign, you're just going to hit the second button and then sign, and then just type that in, 29.9 divided by 34, and I have a 61.57, let's round it to 6, 61.6 degree angle right there. Now we rounded, I'm not even sure of the answer, but it might not be exactly, it's going to be really close to 61.6, but if it's 61.5 or 61.7, I would pick one of those two. Hope this helps.